In working with Matas now, what kind of skills are you working on for him now? So by the time, let's just say training camp comes around, he's kind of ready to go or has a base about knowing what he wants to do.
So again, it's great that now he kind of finally can do things that we've been working on for a long time just because of spacing and rules and like hand checks. So we've been working on some pro stuff, but in a high school court, it's hard to do.
Smaller,
with help with zones.
Space.
So then like in Ignite, he's finally kind of opened up a little bit, right? What's great is we have a feedback now from Summer League. So then you can even lock in more like, hey, this is what you're going to do. Now with the Bulls roster, again, it limits even more things, or I guess less things now what he can do. So for Matas, I think it has to be about efficiency. Yeah. You got to be very efficient. I told him there's some possessions that you might not touch the ball for, 7 possessions in a row. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to be proud about it, or are you going to go crash the glass? So like sprint and transition, play defense, multiple position, guard best players, unload your best scorers from that job. You want to guard the best players. You want that matchup. Attack closeouts. Chicago was the first team in NBA last year in creating closeouts. So like just attack those right. Make open shots. Be conditioned. Like listen to the coach. So again, I'm telling him stuff from the coach's point of view. Sure. So it's not like it's a conflict of interest. I feel like sometimes trainer versus coach, where you're like, hey, I want for you to shoot every shot. Right. Or for coach, like, hey, I want you to shoot the right shots.
Right.
So for me, for Matas, I want him to shoot a lot, but I want him to shoot the right shots. Right. Because that's what makes him to stay on the floor. And how a year it takes for you to be the guy, you gotta play through it. You gotta earn yourself. You gotta prove the point. Told them with fouls. Like, you're a rookie. Who's gonna go fouls on you? Right. Nobody. So I said, you gotta play through them. There's no fouls. All right. Like, you're a rookie. Somebody grabs you, it's going to happen. So you're going to play against Brooks. You're going to play against Dort. Right. Like, go play with those guys. Yeah. So it's going to be physical. And people look at him was like, oh, let's beat up that guy. Yeah. Right. And it's deceiving. Like, Matas is actually very physical, and he's not afraid of contact. Yeah. And he creates contact well, and he knows how to leverage. So people will be surprised, I feel like, about his physicality. And you saw like one of the podcasts, he does talk a little bit, I'm not a fan, but whatever gets you going. Whatever gets you going.
I love it, Coach. I love it.
So you mentioned having like some stuff to actually look at and give him feedback on with Summer League. What was the feedback there? What'd you think about the way that he played? Right. Maybe some things that you saw him doing really well and some areas for improvement.
Gotta make open shots. He struggled with like first game a little bit, and then just all of a sudden the first shot came in, and like all the nervousness just went out.
I think
and
he
then
missed his first 2 or 3 threes, and then
the
third
Milwaukee
quarter
game he didn't make any threes. He like missed first free throws, and then Golden State game came in, and then like fourth quarter he just blew up. Yeah, he just made first, and he goes in, and then it's a player, you're just like, the pressure's off. Let's go out and play. Right. So then like by the third game with Detroit, he was already talking, and like him and Ron went at it, and Bobby Klinman, and they trained together. So like it was all, it was fun, right? Yeah. So he enjoys that. Again, you got to make open shots. You got to know how to create rhythm right off the catch, because he's very like a rhythm guy. So you don't have a ball.
With guys like when they have the ball and they start to get into their like bag a little bit.
Right.
So it's like creating that off the catch can be really tough.
Yes. Now he cannot do that because it's just not enough time. Have the ball. Exactly. So then you have to be like this on the go, right? Fast decisions, like sink hips on the catches, be aggressive. When somebody bumps you, how to swim under the contact, how to put them on your shoulder, how to bump them up instead of taking the contact and kind of fall back, how to read closeouts well. In the summer league, they did a lot of zoom action, which is you kind of sprint out of the corner for a handoff, how to make that decision faster, how to use the screen, how to understand spacing, where the players. If you got Kobe White on this corner, so then you got more space this way because they're not going to help of him. But if you got a Giddey, then they probably might help. So then like understanding that, just the personnel, the awareness. Right. So again, it's a lot of things. But we kind of simplify just for For audience, it's attack closeouts, it's play defense on multiple positions, rebounding, and making open shots. That's what I would say, like a biggest, simplest thing. And of course, condition well, which I think he does a good job, right? So I believe that. Keep working on strength. A lot of like people who are like, hey, you just need to put 25 pounds. Like, why 25? Like, what is exactly it is? So I believe that it's a natural process, a long process. Like I joke that KD never struggled scoring. And
It's true.
Couldn't bench 185, right?
That's a fact.
So again, Matas know how to leverage. So then you're strong. You just don't look like that, right?
But to your advantage.
Yeah, and I do believe that if you're stronger or faster or better athlete on your position, it helps, right? So clearly he needs to get stronger. But it's legs, it's core, it's shoulders. So it's, he might not look like Corey Maggette, but he's strong.
We all silly like the mayor.